Good morning and welcome to Creative Marketing TV. My name is Susan Joy Schlief. I am the founder and host of Creative Marketing TV. And today I am pleased to have a very special guest. Benecia Ponder is here today. She's the founder of the International Society for Inspirational Authors. And Benecia helps heart-centered entrepreneurs to get their message out to more people by writing a book. So Benecia, go ahead and unmute yourself and welcome to Creative Marketing TV.
Hey, Susan, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Me too, now that we finally got past all of our tech challenges that we had this morning between the two of
Yes,
us.
definitely.
It's always a fun adventure to see what might go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I am also excited to learn more about what your society does and about how you help the inspirational authors. And since we just had Valentine's Day earlier this week, I thought it would be a great time to talk to Benecia about helping heart-centered entrepreneurs. So Benecia, why don't you start by telling us what that concept means to you? What does it mean to be a heart-centered entrepreneur, and why is that important?
Hmm. Well, I truly believe um, that those of us who are called to serve others, who are in business, not just for the income, but also for the impact that we can make. Um, we operate from that heart space. And so that's what that means, that heart centered. We operate from a place that is internally motivated rather than externally motivated. Because a lot of times, um, people jump into business for various reasons. But for true heart centered entrepreneurs, that reason is to serve. So that doesn't, it spans industries and service areas. So you can be a heart centered attorney, a heart centered doctor, a heart centered engineer, a heart centered coach, heart centered speaker, teacher, whatever, right? It's that space that you're coming to serve and to share what you've been blessed with to impact and influence the lives of others.
Oh, that's very well said. I like the way you explained that. I think I would maybe add to that too, that often people feel like they have a calling to do something
Mhm,
in the world, so that really is their mission, their way of serving.
mhm.
So that's great. Thank you. Um, you want to take a few minutes to tell us about your personal journey and your growth and how it led you to start the Society for Authors, and what
Oh, wow.
what
Okay.
skills and life experiences do you bring to that?
So when you ask a storyteller to tell her journey, um, I have to remember that it's a 30-minute show.
It's
So
a 30-minute show, yes. So a short
so let me
story.
just start out. Let me just start this story with how the International Association of Inspirational Authors came to be and how I began the journey of inspirational impacting inspirational authors. And that began really about a year ago. About a year ago. Um, I've always been, for the past 10, 15 years, I've been impacting purpose driven entrepreneurs, helping them to prosper with purpose, helping them to really grow in business. And I had reached a place where I wanted to do more. Um, hmm, you'll understand this, Susan. Niche it down, right? To drill down to that level where I have a really narrow focus. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to have a deeper impact. And so, as usual, I'm a woman of faith. And so I prayed about what that looked like. Didn't know at all. And so I've been a writer all of my career, even as an attorney. I wrote as far as contracts, grants, proposals, business plans, all those kind of things. I've written my own books, and last year I had someone to come to me to ghostwrite their book, and I said, ghostwrite. Now I've written my own stuff for years. I've written things for other people, but as far as writing a book for somebody, mm, I hadn't done that. And so I said, okay, let's do it. And she says, well, I want to do it in 90 days. I said, okay, let's do it. So we started the process, and throughout that process, so much just came to me as far as an answer to what I'd been seeking, an answer to what I'd been doing. And I thought, this is it. This is it. So with that, we um, we wrote her book, and she published it in those 90 days. We went from idea to bestseller in 90 days. She became a best-selling author in 90 days. And as I was working with her, four other people came to me for the same thing, unsolicited. And I was like, oh, okay, okay. And so really, when it started out as, okay, I'm going to do this because I prayed about an opportunity. This is coming my way. Let's see where it goes. And since then, I have really seen how God is taking the talents and the experiences that I've honed over all these years, and has really put them into this. And so, inspirational authors is about helping people to share their stories and share their messages, whether it's a story of survival or it's a story of great business accomplishments, or anything in between, helping you to share your story to inspire others to have hope, to have healing, to have transformation, and have breakthroughs. And so that's where it started. And I'm super excited about all the things, and all the ways that it is really growing.
Very interesting. Thank you. Yeah, it does sound like the career just sort of found you rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And I didn't know you had a background as an attorney, so that was a nice segue that you were able to take those skills and turn them into something else. It's kind of like I've done with, I started as a teacher, a grade school
Mm-hmm.
teacher. So, all
Yeah.
right. So let's talk about how you ended up writing your first book and what you learned from that process.
Mm. So I wrote my first book in 2012. And the title of that book is Prepare to Receive More, the step-by-step guide to forming your prosperity partnership with God. And it's so interesting that you mentioned that, Susan, because I'm in the process now of revising and rewriting that, well, not rewriting, but editing that book for republication this year. Um, and that book was a process that it was really a healing journey for me, because in that book I talk about the fact that so often we ask for more. We are attempting to go to the next level in our lives, in our businesses. And I found that when I was on the speaking circuit, when I was coaching clients and doing all those kind of things, I'd always ask, are you ready for more? That question that you ask at the beginning to get the audience excited and pumped up. Well, I would always ask, are you ready for more? And everybody would say, yes, I'm ready for more. I'm ready for more. I want more in my life. I want more in my business. I want more in my career. And then I would bring them back to the key word in that sentence: ready. Are you ready for more? And um, what I came to realize was that although we want more, sometimes we're not ready for it, we're not prepared for it, so that we either miss the opportunities to attract the more into our lives, or we get it and then it ruins us because we're not ready. And so that book, the process of writing that book, it's really a coaching book. And it guides you through the phases of being able to understand where you are, where you want to be, and the best bridge for you to get to where you want to be. And so um, I've gone through that book a couple of times myself, and every time I go through it, I'm like, I wrote this? Wow. So it really is, it was a process of a journey, not only for to help the reader, but also it helped me to step up and to walk the talk, you know, to live the examples that I teach about in that book.
Hmm, wonderful. And is that part of what you carry over then into working with the authors, is to help them with
Mm-hmm.
that process?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I believe that the becoming an author and writing your story, sharing your message, is both about impacting the lives of others and also about gaining greater insight into yourself and how you are meant to show up in the world. The publishing company that I founded is called Illumination Press, and Illumination is actually the step by step. It's a 12-step process that I take my authors through, whether we are ghostwriting or we are I'm coaching you through the process. There's a 12-step process that we go through, and the very first step is to ignite your vision, to really understand why you are writing, why you are called to serve this message at this time. And it looks not only at the impact that you'll make, it also looks at the insight of who you are growing to be, who is the person who is writing this book. And allowing you to go on a journey yourself where you become not just the author, but also a leader to those people who are going to read your book and will need you along the way to help them even after they've read the book. And so, a big part of what I do with authors is helping them to have the impact and the income. Now, income is not just about the money, but what will you receive? What will be the fruits of your labor? So we talk about how will you use this book to build your platform? How will you use this book to if you have a business, or if you're growing a ministry, or if this is going to be something that catapults you into a speaking career, what will this book do for you, your life, and your business? Because a lot of times authors forget about that. It's all about the impact, but the income is important as well. And so it's a holistic approach. The Illumination Blueprint is really a holistic approach to making sure that you're not only serving in your purpose, but you're also prospering in that purpose as well.
Mm. You know, it always makes me think of when I hear people talk about, oh, I just want to give. I don't care about people paying me for it. I'm like, well, you have to
Mm-hmm.
live, So it reminds me of that expression I've seen in people's kitchens where it says something like, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if
Mm-hmm.
to me
Yeah.
that means if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't be of service to other people,
Yeah.
right?
And Susan, I like to say, if you can't pay your light bill, you're not going to be able to let your light shine, right?
That's
If
good.
you
Yeah.
can't if you can't take care of yourself financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally, if you can't um if you aren't able to do that, then you're not going to have anything to give to anyone else. And
Hmm.
so we are all lights in this world, but we have to make sure that we have what we need to let our light shine. And
Yeah.
so it really is important that we think about those things um, very intentionally as we are giving, because the more that you can, the more that you have, you know, there's a commercial that I've seen recently that said, success isn't about how much you can get, but it's about how much you can give. And the reason you can give is because you have so much, and you give out of your abundance, not out of lack. And so that is really the whole principle behind what I do. It's not just about you are um, are sharing your message, but it's also about you are establishing meaning and satisfaction and fulfillment in your own life. You're creating financial freedom for yourself and your family. You're leaving a legacy. It's about the success, and it's about the significance of your life. And so this is more than, I help my clients to realize you're writing more than just a book, because you have more than one book inside of you. I mean, you can write a whole series of books, right? But it's more about that. It's really about you stepping into your own power and being able to let your light shine in a way that serves you, and it serves those that you are called to.
Yes, because the more you shine, the more you're radiating that success out
Mm-hmm.
to the world, the more people are going to be attracted to your message, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I know you talk about people that have a message to share, and that's actually part of the audience that I look for too, in helping people to create presentations and videos and things that will help them get that message out.
Mm-hmm.
But can you give us some examples, maybe from either past or current clients that you've helped? What kind of message did they have to share, and how did you help them figure out the best way to do that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'll tell you about two of my clients.
Okay.
The first is she's a multi-million dollar business owner in the Miami area. Um, and she wanted to write her book to really inspire others about her journey, because people were always saying, "Oh, you've gotten to this place. You never had to go anything through anything." And the title of her book is "Faith Through It All," and she talks about, and this was a ghostwriting project. So she talks about in her book about her journey from being bullied as a child, from being a young mother, to being betrayed by family members, to, her book tells her story. And throughout the process, one of the things that I absolutely loved about this, because as she was telling her story to me, and we were crafting how the book was formed and all those kind of things, she said, "Benecia, this is really a healing journey for me." She says, "I never told somebody these stories before. And I'm realizing that as I'm telling you these stories to put into this book, that I am healing from them, and that I can use these stories to help others." And so as we wrote her book, it was just an amazing experience to see this person who has amassed so much wealth in terms of financial success come and say, "Hey, I'm growing spiritually. I'm growing personally. I am able to now stand in a more powerful place." And so at her book signing, I surprised her by going to her book signing. And so at her book signing, there were over 200 people there. And even after the signing, she is getting responses and messages from people who are saying, "Oh my gosh, your story has changed my life. I have so many." I mean, people are sending her messages over and over and over again. And so that's one of the things. Not only are, you start the process, you affect one person, and that person goes out and affects other people, and then they affect other people, and it's just a whole ripple effect. And so that piece of being able to inspire change is so amazing. I'm working with another client right now who we are writing her story of, and hers is a series. And so we are writing her story of overcoming, um, in this particular one, overcoming being traumatized and stalked by someone who is prominent in the community, by so and what she had to go through, that trauma that she had to go through with people not believing her, with people not understanding, and what she's turning this, and she's doing a whole series of books because there's been so much stuff in her life. And we're actually working with a production company um, to actually turn this into a movie as well. So it's this is her project is very exciting as well. But she is sharing her message, and she is turning that message into a movement for mental health, for people to realize that they're not alone when they experience trauma, that they can go through things, but on the other side, they can not just survive, but thrive. And so her book, her message is turning um, into a platform, a movement to help others. And so those are just two examples. I'm working with others who are counseling professionals, people who are attorneys, people who are entrepreneurs sharing business growth messages. Um, I'm working with another guy who is he's 78 years old, and he looks like he's about 50 or so. I mean, he really looks great for his age, very active, very vibrant. And he's sharing his story of how he's used food as his way of healing, and how you can have ageless living and be more vibrant. And all of these, whether it's about inspiring you to accomplish great professional success, or surviving trauma, or healthy eating, or relationship, whatever it really is about you are impacting someone's life, and you are helping them to have breakthroughs that they never thought possible. And it's just so amazing. It's so amazing.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds like your society is well named for inspirational authors. They
Mhm.
have some very inspiring stories. Um, Actually, that was the next question I had, is to have you talk a little bit about the society and why somebody might consider joining and how it might help them.
Yeah, so um, the International Association of Inspirational Authors is a community. It is for resources, for encouragement, for empowerment, and really to help you to begin to understand how to share your story, how to share your message, get comfortable with sharing your message, and um, being able to get the resources that you need along the way. And so we have a free Facebook community that is in its beginning phases, and that it's growing. And so this community, I offer inspiration, I offer tips and tools. We have trainings that happen on various topics of writing, of publishing, of marketing your book, those kind of things. And so that community is growing on Facebook, and it's the International Association of Inspirational Authors. Um, and you would want to join us if you are looking for a community to connect with. If you're looking for a place to begin to learn how to share your story, there are other ways in which you can connect, as far as if you want one-on-one services or things like that. But for the the connection and the community, I would invite you all to come and join us in our free Facebook group. Just search International Association of Inspirational Authors on Facebook and request to join, and we'd love to have you.
Great. I think I'm going to do that. I didn't realize you had that Facebook group. That's great to know. And I
Yeah, it's just
apologize.
starting out. So
Okay,
we're under 50 members right now. So it's just starting out. But my vision is that it is going to be um it's going to explode, right? So but yeah, we love to have you, have you in that group, offering any kind of support or encouragement that you have.
great. Yeah, and I apologize, I got the name of it wrong. I kept saying
Oh.
society, but it's association, International Association for Inspirational Authors. Okay. And um, while we're talking about that, let's have you tell us a little bit about the free offer you have for people today.
Mm-hmm. So I am offering a free book breakthrough strategy session. And what this is an opportunity for us to chat one on one about your message, about that book that's been inside of you. Because what I found is that a lot of people are holding on to their books inside of them in their hearts and their heads. And it's for a couple of reasons. One is lack of clarity and understanding about what that message really is, who they'll impact, how, how that message can be framed and formed. And so during the breakthrough strategy session, we look at your message, and I listen to you and understand what's going on, and I coach you through the process of becoming a little bit more clear about that. I also know that a lot of people aren't starting on their projects because there are certain roadblocks. And some of these roadblocks they don't even know they have, right? They may say, well, I just don't have the time to write the book. I don't have the money to publish my book. And those are just surface issues. When you really get down to it, there are some hidden roadblocks and challenges that could be stopping you from moving forward. And once we get through those roadblocks, then writing your book becomes an easy process. And so during the breakthrough strategy session, we really take a look at the clarity, we take a look at the confidence, which is, breaking through those roadblocks. And then we look at the cash flow. How can you begin to really take your message and strategize how you bring in income from that? And so the book breakthrough strategy session focuses on those three areas: clarity, confidence, and cash flow. And in our session, I help you to determine what your next success steps will be. Now, your next success steps may be that you're going to work with me, either through ghostwriting or coaching or publishing or some kind of way. That could be how you work with me. Your next success steps could be that you're going to set a timeline and you're going to go off and write your book for yourself, whatever it is. But I help you to come to the place where you understand what your next success steps are and you're ready to take those. And so for all of those of you who are watching this broadcast, in addition to the free book breakthrough strategy session, if you decide that you'd like to take your next success steps with me, whatever way, whether it's through ghostwriting, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through publishing assistance, however it is, you'll also receive 25% off of whatever service you decide to invest in. So it's the free book breakthrough strategy session, where we will definitely be coaching together, to get clear about your clarity, your confidence, and your cash flow. But also, if you decide to take another step with me and invest in services, then you'll also get a 25% discount as well.
That's a great offer. And I'm going to bring up the information about your free offer on the screen here while we continue talking.
Okay.
And then if somebody did want to, once they had that session with you, then they could just say, I heard you on the Creative Marketing TV show, and
Yes, yes.
then
And
you
that's one of
could,
the questions I ask of
yeah,
everyone who comes. How did you hear about this? And so once they mention Susan or they mention this broadcast, then the 25% is automatically credited to them.
great. So as we finish up here, we need to end in a couple minutes, but let me just ask you one more question to wrap up here. What would you say is the biggest challenge for most of your followers when it comes to sharing their message? You've talked about some of that, I know already, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, I'll just go back and say it's the clarity piece. Um, it's the clarity piece, and that's exactly why we start the illumination blueprint with igniting your vision, of getting very clear, because I found that writer's block, I found that procrastination, um, all of those things that seem to pop up, not having enough time, all of those stem from a lack of clarity because your brain is saying, what do I do next? How do I go forward? And when you don't have a clear vision, then um, you will wander aimlessly. You will stumble all over yourself trying to write this book. You need to really get an understanding of not just, people think clarity is about the outlining. Absolutely not. That's not the only thing that you need to get clear about. You need to get clear about everything surrounding your book. How are you going to be different? What are you going to bring out of you to write this book? What is your reader going to experience? Why are you writing this book at this time, in this place? What will happen as a result of this book? Where do you see this going? Will you look for speaking engagements? Will you turn this into a coaching project? Will you write other books? How will this affect your life, your family, your legacy? How will this bring more financial freedom? All of these questions we ask at the very beginning, and as a result, the process of writing your book and getting your message out there becomes so much simpler. And that's the place where I find that most of my clients come to me in that state of chaos and confusion, and helping them to get clear about that and having a strategic plan of action. So the clarity is first, and then the strategic plan of action, that second. If you don't have that strategic plan of action, it's really difficult to stay accountable and stay focused enough to complete the dream. Because if you're clear with no action, then it's just not going to happen. They say vision without action is just a nightmare or something of that nature. And I think that's what happens. It's what happens and what keeps so many of us from having our books written. Those 10-year people, 10-year aspiring authors, that's what happens. You're not clear, and then you don't have a strategy. And so those are the roadblocks that I help you to break through.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Uh, I think we need to end now. So I've got your offer back up on the screen here, but thank you so much, Benecia. I think you gave our audience some very inspirational ideas and stories, and hopefully some good advice about if they have thought about writing a book, you've given them some steps that they can take next. So thank you so much. And tell us once more just what to look for if people want to check out your Facebook group. That would be a good place to contact you as well,
Oh,
right?
yes, definitely. Come over and check out our Facebook group. It's the International Association of Inspirational Authors. International Association of Inspirational Authors. And it is a group over on Facebook, absolutely free to come in and join. And we'd love, love, love to have you.
Great. And after this is finished, once the recording is up, Benecia, I'll send you the link for the recording, and then maybe you can put a comment underneath too with the information about the Facebook group
Will
so people
do.
can follow
Absolutely.
that. All right. Well,
Absolutely.
thank you so much. And thank you to all of our viewers, whether you're watching us live or the replay. We're happy to have you. And please leave a comment and let us know if you liked the show. If you have any questions for Benecia, she can follow up with you afterwards. All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.